for the invocation, please.
Mayor, we have with us this evening Michaels from the First Presbyterian Church here in Cheraw to do the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly One, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that might affect the town of Cheraw and its wonderful people, and continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Well, welcome everybody here this evening. Thank you for coming. And let me just say, I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season. Thank you. Council, you have in your packet minutes of the November 14th council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the matter presented?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Also, we have a copy of the November financial report. Are there any additions or corrections to that report? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the matter presented?
So moved.
There's a second. Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. We have at this time Brittingham Group in Camden. Bill is our auditor, and he's here to report on our annual audit. Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, we'd like to thank the town of Cheraw for having us as your auditors. State law requires that you have an audit done every year, but it has to be done at your cost and your selection of a qualified firm. And we're very proud that you have again chosen us and look forward to working with you again in the future. Best thing about tonight's report is there's not much to report. That's something good coming from your auditor. There are some communications I'm required to go over with you. You should all have the gray bound reports that our office issued. I'm going to be bouncing around a bit, but I'm going to be referencing page numbers so we can all follow along. On pages 1 through 3, this is a long-winded way of saying that the town once again got a clean audit opinion. We feel like the numbers contained herein can be relied upon by creditors, taxpayers, ratepayers, and any other interested parties that wants to use it. This was not what I call a gotcha engagement. We didn't come in here with the intention of finding mistakes and making anything personal. We looked at things from a materiality standpoint, meaning that if there was an error and it was within a certain very tight range, we didn't feel the need to make a correction. So again, we feel like these statements are can be relied upon to make decisions, and the opinion is unqualified, also known as unmodified, also known as clean. All right. Told you I was going to bounce around on you a little bit, and we are. I'm going to take you to page. Goodness. I'll take you to page 58. And an audit of a governmental unit, the second most important matter that is addressed is a secondary opinion that we give. And this secondary opinion is in two parts. One part is on our opinion of your internal controls over financial reporting, and the second part of that is our opinion on whether or not you've been in compliance with externally imposed rules that the town must abide by. On pages 58 and 59, we talk about your report on the internal controls over financial reporting. There is no internal control system that's perfect, because every internal control system is run by human beings. So every internal control system could be made stronger, it could be made tougher for something to get through. However, when we measured the system that you currently have against what it would take to improve that system, we took into account what cost it would take, and would you realize a benefit greater than that cost. And we came to the determination, it's our opinion, that there is no need for a change in your internal control system right now because the costs would outweigh whatever the potential benefits were. All right. And on page 59, while this isn't a gotcha engagement, we do have to check for certain transactions and timeliness. Your payroll tax deposits, were they calculated right, were they made on time? Your remittances to the state treasurer's office for criminal municipal court tickets, withholdings for health insurance and retirement, were they set to the appropriate place on time? Were they calculated right? Were they matched properly? And when we went through all those tests and procedures, we didn't find any errors. All right. So we weren't on the lookout trying to find them, but over the course of our work and trying to tie the totals and subtotals back to what should have been done, we didn't find any errors or mistakes, and we didn't find any instances where things were not done in a timely fashion. All right, let's talk about some numbers. We're going to take a look at how we did on our general fund and compare our budget that we passed last year on page 19. All right, so on page 19, you can see where you budgeted revenue by source and you budgeted expenditures pretty much by function or department. All right, so the top half of the page, top third of the page, excuse me, if you will, we had a total budget of about $7.5 million that we budgeted to receive. We ended up doing a little bit better than that, mainly because we collected more property taxes than we originally budgeted, and we had some grant income that came in that we did not contemplate during budget season last year. Now, how does those things happen? Well, with the property taxes, you never know when there's going to be new development, there's going to be an influx of residents, you never know how much more new equipment is going to be registered inside the town limits. Therefore, property taxes can vary from year to year for any number or a combination of those reasons. When it comes to grant income, which is on the miscellaneous income line, you really don't know what grant you're going to get because you apply for it in one year, and it might be the next year or even the following year after that before you actually get it. And so you don't record it when you don't record the revenue when you apply for it. You record it when you actually get it. And so the town actually got about $387,000 more than it was planning on getting. All right. And so the next section of this page is where we look at our expenditures by department, and you can see line by line, we overspent by about $175,000. Well, the reason we did that was because over the course during the year, we saw we were taking in more revenue than we had budgeted, okay? So this isn't an illustration of a town or a management being irresponsible. This is an illustration of, oh, we got the money and we need to spend some of this, and this is needed in the police department. So since we got more money than we thought we were going to get, we'll go ahead and make those purchases. All right, and so overall for the year, we ended up with an $831,000 surplus in the general fund. And some folks might say, well, that's a profit. Well, you know, some years, there are years where you don't have profits. And when it comes to a $7.5 million spending, $7.5 million budget, you came pretty close to matching what you took in versus what you spent. If you take away those outstanding items that were kind of good surprises that you didn't know were coming. All right. Questions on the general fund? All right. So, if there is any negative takeaways here tonight, I'm going to turn your attention to page 21. I'm going to draw this to council's attention. It's not very popular. We don't like to talk about it a whole lot, but this is the statement of revenues, expenses, and the changes in the net position for your combined utilities fund, water and sewer service. You can see the top part of the page, we list out your revenues, and then you've got your operating expenses, and the town showed a $706,000 loss for the year. This is a result of the cost of the system cost of operating the system going up, but the rates not keeping up with it. This is a result of a lot of deferred maintenance being performed this past year, but rates aren't keeping up with it. All right. So what I've recommended to the Finance Committee earlier today is what I'll recommend to this body, and that is, you folks had a rate study done 2, 3, 4 years ago. I can't remember what year you're in it. It'd be advisable. First of all, it's a good rule of thumb to have one of those updated every 3 to 5 years. And I think you folks are in the 3 to 5 year space now where it would be appropriate to have these rates looked at again. Not just for how are we doing now versus rates now, revenue versus expenses now, but incorporate future capital project plans, the funding and the debt service of those capital projects going forward, and incorporate all of those elements into what a fair rate plan should be. Also, it's helpful to compare the rates that you charge your customers with similar and peer systems like other small towns, especially in the area. Find out where you are. The Rural Water Association of South Carolina publishes annually a survey of rates. All right. If there's 100 respondents to this survey and you see the town of Cheraw is at the bottom 10th percentile, your rates probably aren't where they're supposed to be. If you're in the top 3 or 4 rate chargers, as far as your rates are that high, you're probably charging more than you should and something should be wrong. But that's just another barometer to gauge where the town is as a tool, okay? Now, in previous presentations, we've talked about the long-term debt of the town. We've talked about your other post-employment benefits. We've talked about the unfunded pension liability and the town's share of that. I'll be happy to go over any of those things with the council that you want me to. I'll also give you the option to not have to listen to me talk about that if you don't want to, again.
Bill, I'll vote for that option.
So what is the pleasure of council? Well, Mr. Mayor, that summarizes and concludes my prepared report. And only thing left would be questions. If you folks don't have any, that's going to conclude it for me.
Thank you, Bill. I know that the Finance Committee has met with you on this audit. Is there any comments, questions, or?
No, only comment on, thank Bill and his firm for their work in getting us a timely audit this year. It was important to get it in December, and we thank you for getting it to us in time. And I'd like to compliment Tina and the mayor for the time and Rob for putting together this budget. Tina's always conservative with the income side, and fortunately, most of our surprises are good ones in that. Tina, thank you for what you do.
Anybody else? Thank you. Appreciate your report.
Well, with that, Mr. Mayor, council, I would respectfully ask to be excused at this point. Thank you, folks.
We have with us Doug Stowe regarding the recent water quality concerns in the town of Cheraw. Doug, Sherry.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'm here regarding the recent violations of THMs. I'll do my best to answer any questions or concerns that you might have when I finish. The THM violation we've notified just recently kind of caught us off guard. We weren't prepared for it. Through some investigation, we found that some things that should have been done had not been done. If you recall, I think it was back in 2019, we had a THM violation. At that time, DHEC required us to come up with a corrective action plan. That plan included some things at our water plant. We switched from a gaseous chlorine to a liquid chlorine. We also stopped feeding chlorine on top of our filters. We started requiring our operators to draw down about 25% of the system before they started filling it back up to get that turnover in the tanks. And we implemented a flushing program. THMs usually occurs at the end of a dead-end line. Let me state for everyone here, the THM violation per DHEC regulations, we are required to notify all customers of the water system. However, this only involves one area of town, and that is at NETC. If you are not at NETC, this violation does not pertain to you. Only at the end of the line at NETC is where this occurred. So we did implement a flushing program at that area. Unfortunately, there was some change in personnel. The new personnel was not aware of the situation and did not flush. That began a kind of a cascade effect, snowball effect, if you will, of elevated levels out at Tech. Due to a personnel change also at DHEC, usually when we start edging up in our numbers, we are notified by that person that we are edging up and we might need to look into it. Because of their change in personnel, we were not notified, and that's what caught us off guard, because usually we are notified and we weren't. Ms. Tolson, excuse me, Ms. Turner. Ms. Turner did call DHEC and questioned them, and they said yes, there had been a personnel change, and that was why we weren't notified. Unfortunately, DHEC's not taking responsibility; it's still our responsibility. So when we started investigating and found out that the area was not being flushed as it should have been flushed, I have no authority over those personnel. We addressed it with Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf assured me that it has been addressed and everything is being done as planned now, and we shouldn't have any further issues with elevated levels. However, since the period that of non-flushing was so long, we have 3 bad tests for 3 quarters out at Tech. So it's going to be a while before those rotate off. So we have 1 notification that went out. It's probably going to be at least 2 more notifications to the public. But once again, I remind you, this is only at Tech, not any other place in town. The main issue is there's just not enough turnover out there, and that's why we implemented that flushing program out there in that area. The tap is at the corner of State Road and number 9. The line goes out number 9 highway and is a loop around the Tech. About 18,000 gallons of water is in that line. So we have 3 commercial pieces of property on that line. We have 1 resident and we have Tech. And even with those taps on there, water is just not being turned over enough. So that's why that area has to be flushed. And like I said, we have, Mr. Wolf has addressed the personnel involved, and we are pretty certain that it's going to be taken care of.
Rob, the question I have is, how frequent are you going to be flushing that line?
3 times a week, sir.
3
Monday,
times a
Wednesday,
week.
and Friday.
Until DHEC says it's okay to stop?
No, sir, we don't stop.
I have a question.
Sure.
I don't know if you just mentioned that it was TCN or TCM.
It's THM, so it's known as trihalomethanes.
Yeah, I wanted you to get the definition of that acronym because many of us probably don't know what it is.
Yes, sir. THM stands for trihalomethanes. It is a byproduct of disinfection. When chlorine is allowed to sit in the water in a line for an extended period of time, it can react with the organics in that line and form THMs. So basically, it occurs at the end of the lines, and that's the situation we're experiencing with NETC.
Yeah. So, how many times will the town monitor those lines now, or the water level?
DHEC monitors
Toxicity
those.
of the water?
It's not toxicity. It's just the THM, so it's trihalomethanes. So it's just a byproduct of the disinfection. DHEC monitors those for us on a quarterly basis.
Okay, so they won't monitor any more times than that, let us know if that level is coming down.
No, sir.
So it's just a quarterly basis, and that's it.
Yes, sir. And then the number that they use to find out if we're exceeding the limits is what's called a running average. So it's the average of the current 4 quarters, the most current 4 quarters. And then that's compared against what's called the MCL, the contaminant level, main contaminant level, or maximum contaminant level. There we go. And if we exceed that, then we're notified.
Okay, so how many months do you think it'll be before we're in the clear, so to speak?
Months, it'll be quarters. So probably at least 2 more quarters and probably a 3rd quarter. So we're going to be sending out notices for quite some time.
So for the record, is our water safe to drink in the town of Cheraw?
Yes, sir.
That's all I hear. Any questions? Thank you for the report.
Yes, sir.
Council, at this time we have a special presentation to present. Rob?
We had a recent election, and we have 2 members with us this evening that this will be their last council meeting. That's Robbie Bennett and Mayor Andy Ingram. And we'd like to do a special presentation as a thank you to Robbie's time of service here. And Robbie, if you'll come on down, we have a tradition here in the town. On behalf of the town of Cheraw, we'd like to present this painting, or this print, excuse me, to Robbie Bennett for his years of service on the Cheraw Town Council. We try to personalize it to each member, and in this case, it's a view of 2nd Street looking up towards the Cheraw Town Hall. So it shows all the businesses in town on 2nd Street. And the reason this painting was selected is because over the last 7 years, Robbie Bennett has been a strong supporter of downtown revitalization and has always been a consistent supporter of those efforts, both through events and investments in our downtown. So we would like to present this painting to you, Robbie.
That's very nice.
Turn it over to Mayor Ingram.
Thank you, Rob.
You don't get to go away yet.
Mayor's definitely here, right?
Well, I just wanted to say a few things. When Robbie came to this council, he brought a wealth of knowledge in business knowledge and experience, and he also has a sharp mind with numbers. And knowing that, and knowing his experience, it was a no-brainer but for me to put Robbie on the finance committee. And he joined Jim Crawford. Jim is business experience, and also in the banking business with First Bank. And then Richard White, his professional career was in banking. So I couldn't think of anybody else but these 3 to serve on the finance committee. And we couldn't have found a better finance committee with all that experience. These guys took their job very serious. We depended on them for their financial advice and guidance. They met with the auditor numerous times throughout the year to keep a finger on the audit and how the money was spent. But they also met with Tina numerous times to make sure that our annual budget was on track. But they've done a splendid job, and Robbie was a guiding force behind that. And Robbie, we appreciate your service here, and hope you'll find a place in your house that you can hang that proudly and have fond memories. But we appreciate the service that you've given to this community.
It's been fun. Enjoyed working with you.
You don't get to run away. The mayor insisted that he didn't want any kind of fanfare when when he was leaving. He said, I already got my painting from the first time I left office. So he said, don't give me another painting. So we wanted to respect his wishes, but we also couldn't let him have his last meeting without just a quick thank you. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Pro Tem Cheraw Melton.
A proclamation celebration the mayoralty of Andrew R. Ingram. Whereas Mayor Andrew R. Ingram first took office in April of 1994, serving through December 2007, and again taking office in January 2012 and serving through December 2023. And whereas Mayor Ingram has worked continuously to improve the quality of life for residents in the town of Cheraw, and whereas Mayor Ingram has been a good steward of public funds and during his tenure as taxpayers in Cheraw has saved over $30 million, as Mayor Ingram has been an advocate for grant funding for town projects. And whereas Mayor Ingram has been a strong supporter of the Cheraw's robust recreation department and been instrumental in improving the quality of life in Cheraw by the addition of parks, concerts, festivals, sports, and regular events. And whereas Mayor Ingram has long sought opportunities for public safety improvements in the town of Cheraw, and under his leadership, the town of Cheraw has invested in new technology to improve officers' safety and combat crime. And whereas Mayor Ingram has led the town of Cheraw and developed a comprehensive infrastructure improvement plan that, once implemented, will provide clean water and proper waste disposal in the town through 2060. And wherein the state of South Carolina, Mayor Ingram has been a tireless advocate for small mortalities in rural communities, ensuring their interests are properly addressed at the state level. And where Mayor Ingram was a strong voice for changing Cheraw's form of government from the mayor council form to the council manager form, so that the needs of the Cheraw citizens can continue to be met in an increasingly complex government and regulatory environment. And whereas this proclamation is unable to accurately document the numerous accomplishments of Mayor Ingram during his time in office, but is meant to demonstrate his commitment to the people of Cheraw, both past, present, and future. Now, therefore, I, Cheraw Melton, Mayor Pro Tem of the town of Cheraw, do hereby issue this proclamation of thanks to Mayor Andrew R. Ingram for his years of service to the town of Cheraw and for his work benefited residents in Cheraw. This done under my hand on the 12th day of December, 2023. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Cheraw. I want to thank the town council for this. It's been indeed a pleasure to serve this community as mayor for the last 26 years. But I've also got some buddies in the audience that I was able to serve with on county council when I served there, and also I've served with a lot of people over my 44 years in public service. Being on the town council, I served with 5 mayors, 3 or 4, 5 mayors. I can't remember how many, but it's been indeed a pleasure. I know I'll miss it, but it's time, and I wish this community well, and I wish this council well, and thank y'all for the opportunity to serve this community as I have. Thank you. Okay, now we'll get down to business. Council, you have in your packet, second reading of ordinance 2024-0. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm sorry. Yes, I overlooked citizens' comments. On our agenda, we have, those of you that are not on the agenda, you have the opportunity to address council at this time under our public comments. Do we have anybody in the audience that'd like to speak? Chairman of Chesterfield County Council, Rhett Butler.
Yes, Rhett Butler, 978 McDougal Circle in Cheraw. Mayor Ingram, as chairman of the Chesterfield County Council, I'd like to thank you for your years of service on the county council, having served both as a councilman and also the county chairman. And we'd also like to thank you for all the many ways that you have helped our county while you served as the town mayor here in Cheraw for these number of years. And you are truly a public servant, and your service and guidance will continue to benefit the citizens of this county for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhett.
My name is Floyd Howard. Thank you, Council, for letting me speak. This is the issue of the water, which is being clarified to a certain extent. And I want to take the time and initiative to share a couple of things with the water department, the citizens of Cheraw, as well as the council and the mayor, the council and the mayor of Cheraw. It is preventative methods as far as the water. We can use carbon filters, evaluate our filtration system. It's a danger to the public for the simple fact is it could cause liver damage, kidney damage, and different other type of damages because of the chemical compound of THC, TTHM. We can boil our water. We can send notices out to the citizens to boil the water. That would take up to 75% of the chemical out of it evaporating into the air to make it much safer. The issues that the people have been misled by what we just said, that this water is not a danger to our public, in which it is. And preventative actions should be pursued for the citizens, as well as for the well-being of the town of Cheraw. It should be looked in a little bit more deep. No blame being cast, just upgrading, evaluating our water filtration system. Taking better care of the equipment, maybe putting money in the places in the water filtration process that we haven't been putting it in. And since 2019, the citizens of Cheraw had an increase in their water bill. And I think due to the water as being the way that it is, poisonous to our health, I think that the town, the council, the mayor, treasurer should consider a price reduction in the water bill for the citizens of Cheraw until this problem or this issue has been resolved. And it all came in the letter that was sent out by the water department of the town of Cheraw. People to be notified to boil the water. It will kill up to 75% of the bacteria. Not only do vegetation cause this chemical compound, but it could be waste slipping through our system, filtration system. I want to take the time to thank you and wish that the town or whoever that is concerned will take heed and follow up. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
And if I could be dismissed. Mr. President.
Is there anyone else like to address council? Al?
No.
Thank you, Special
say your name, Al Johnson, 924 Johnson Road, Jefferson, South Carolina. Andy, you know I don't say a whole lot, but what I say I really mean. And I don't want what I'm fixing to say to sound like you're leaving, because you're not leaving, you're just leaving this job. And if I know you, you're going to be involved in a whole lot of other things to help this community, our county, and this town. But anyhow, I just wanted to thank you for what you've done for Chesterfield County and the town of Cheraw. We've been politicking, what, Andy, 35 plus years or whatever together, and I certainly thank you for what you've done, and I thank you for your friendship most of all. And folks, I know y'all gonna miss him. He's been a good one. Thank you.
Good evening to the council and members and the mayor pro tem as well. Melvin Wilkerson, 601 Robin Hood Drive. I can appreciate what the young man said about the water, and being one that has studied chemistry and science all my life, interested in, of course, contaminants in the environment, and the snafu we had several years ago, which is an ongoing situation in the community. And I just want the council to look into the culprits, the trihalomethane, PCBs, and the PFAS that we've talked about over the several years here. We said individually what the limits are no problem. But also these culprits combined, what are their implications and effects on the body? And I'd like for the council to look into that. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Helen Palmer, and I certainly want to thank you, Mayor Ingram, for all of your help during the time I was the Executive Director of Chesterfield Marlboro EOC. You were very gracious to, I guess, give us the section of Robert Small that we have for the office, and I was unable to get it from the school board, so I got it through you once they gave it to the city. So I appreciate that. And your help in helping us to get our area paved, to park the cars, and those kinds of things. So I certainly thank you for your generosity and during the time that I was the executive director, how your help. And you too, Robbie, for being such a personable person, and me calling your house and asking you questions, those kinds of things you did not seem to mind. And I do appreciate that. And Al, I see that he's gone already. He's still with the county council. They were nice too when I went to them to ask for funds to help with the agency. Y'all didn't turn me down, so I'm gracious for that, and I do hope you Godspeed whatever your future endeavors are. Thank you.
Greetings, Mayor, Council. My name is Imam Mahdi from Cheraw, South Carolina. I'm film producer, director. Been shooting film around here for quite a few years, United States, Morocco. But now I'm shooting a feature, 3 features, which is Abraham Revenge Against Satan, and one called Little Dizzy, and one called Cheraw Natives. So I just want to bring this to your attention, what is going on in the community, and if you want to be involved with this project, you know, it will be very beneficial and financial beneficial to the community if you become involved with this project. And I know this is something to look over. for the next 30 days, and I would like to present my whole project to you in details, and I've signed up for a hearing. So thank you. My name is Imam Mahdi for giving me this time. Have a nice evening.
Is there anyone else that would like to address council on the public comments? We'll move forward now. Council, we have second reading of ordinance 2024-6. This is an ordinance to amend the Town of Cheraw zoning ordinance to enact certain changes to be consistent with the council manager form of government, clarifying interpretations of certain uses and amend required parking for certain usage. Rob, any comments on that?
No, this is again just a periodic review of our zoning ordinance done by the Planning Commission, and these changes do come as a recommendation out of a public hearing that the Planning Commission held in November.
Council, you hear this is a recommendation out of the Planning Commission. We have a motion to accept the recommendation.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Also, we have second reading of ordinance 2024-07. This is an ordinance to amend section 3-10 of the Cheraw Town Code dealing with animal care. Rob.
This again comes from a resident who approached the Cheraw Planning Commission about the possibility of adding ducks to the permitted pets within the town limits. Given that his child had an allergy to eggs and there's no ready source of duck eggs in the community. And after reviewing the information surrounding the circumstances of keeping ducks versus chickens as pets, the Cheraw Planning Commission didn't find that there was any significant difference between the two, and the care for one is very similar to the care for the other. And so they do recommend this change to the Cheraw Town Code to permit up to 6 ducks or 6 chickens within the town limits.
Council, you hear the recommendation from the Planning Commission to adopt a resolution attached to 2024-07. Is there a motion to adopt second final reading?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Also, we have resolution 12-2024, a resolution authorizing the submission of grant applications to the South Carolina Parks, Recreation, and Tourism.
Every couple of years, the South Carolina Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism opens up grants through the National Park Service called the Land and Water Conservation Fund. These grants are used to enhance outdoor recreation in communities. And this year, after reviewing the Recreation Master Plan and what projects might be feasible within the grant limits, I'm requesting permission to submit a grant application to PRT to construct a splash pad at Arrowhead Park. The total cost of the project would be around $250,000, of which SCPRT through the National Park Service would pay for $125,000 of it, with the town of Cheraw providing the other match.
Council, we have resolution 12-2024. Do I have a motion to accept, adopt this request?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Also, resolution 13-2024 is a resolution accepting the gazebo as a gift from the Lemon family for the improvement of Arrowhead Park.
This is something that council has discussed over the last year. Local John Winburn passed away, and his heirs wished to do something nice for the improvement of one of our parks, and they offered the donation of a gazebo to Arrowhead Park in the area on the walking trail that's dressed up with more landscaping and kind of fit in that area. It is within the Recreation Master Plan to have a gazebo in that area for the improvement of Arrowhead Park. This would come at no expense at the town. This is going to be a very simple structure out there, and it will be in keeping with the general aesthetic of Arrowhead Park. For that reason, I'm requesting that town council pass this resolution to accept the gazebo as a gift from the Winburn family.
Council, I have a motion to adopt, resolution 13-2024. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Also, we have a request for a sewer tap on Laney Road.
A developer contacted the town several weeks ago about hooking onto town sewer. He purchased 2 mobile home parks out on Laney Road. His intent is to rehabilitate those mobile home parks. It is pretty far outside the city limits on the edge of our sewer system. Under policy, any tap that's made outside of the town limits of Cheraw has to be approved by council. This would add about 15 mobile homes to our sewer system. After speaking with Doug Stowe, we do have the capacity for this tap. After speaking with Kenny Grantham, a tap is technically possible out there. So for that reason, I'm requesting that council approve this tap, sewer tap.
Council, you get a recommendation to approve the sewer tap on Laney Road from the administration. Do I have a motion to adopt that request?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
I have a question on that. Our sewer tap fee, does it cover our full cost to put this tap in?
It will, because if there's any costs above what's normal, we may fail to pick it up as part of that.
Does the limit, do we need to look at a limit on the number of mobile homes that may be using this time?
No, sir, probably not. We should be good.
That's all.
We should be good in that area. There's only so much area that they can put those mobile homes. They're not going to be putting in too many of them.
That is outside city limits, right?
It is. Go down Laney Road, they're off on the 9 on the Laney Road. I think both mobile home parks are on the left.
Any possibility of picking up any other sewer taps out there? Any residents that are on on septic?
Not at this time. Usually no one will proceed to try to get a sewer tap unless they're having issues with the septic tank. At this time, no one's having any issues, so I don't expect any taps to be requested.
These are all facilities that people are in now, right? Or it's just they haven't brought any trailers in?
There's some existing trailers out there that are in bad shape. Now, whether they're all being rented out, I have no idea.
But this is not inside the town limits. This is
right. Yeah.
Any further questions? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. Council, you have your packet activity reports on the various departments. If you have any questions pertaining to those departments, please get with the town manager. We have on agenda a request to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing appointments and compensation at the Cheraw Police Department. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. I'm glad we go into executive session. Hopefully we won't be long. Y'all will hang around. We will excuse ourselves.
One section of the water system polluted, for lack of better words. I guess it is.
That's where
the chlorine. Yeah, overabundance, but not, maybe not overabundance, but the chlorine itself lays in the pipe and it creates the. Yeah, I haven't done it all year, and I really didn't realize.
What we would like to see is that 15,000 gallons will turn over every couple of days. 15,000 gallons of water for one resident, 3 commercial buildings.
Yeah,
somebody occasionally.
Just the flow rate's not going.
And that's why I'm looking. So, in downtown, no problem. So you're constantly circulating. One of the other points is seven more around, which is way up to 2. We haven't had any issues.
Yeah, I live on Pinewood Drive, just to lose itself.
I was going to say, when you're kind of going, okay, so you're on, but you're right there at the town too. So every time you start pushing, you're getting big from the other direction, so it's constantly changing the sections in the lines and the front.
Well, I've been noticing, it may just be me, and I asked my wife this, if she's noticed any type of odor in her water system. To me, I'm getting a little strange smell when I take a shower now. It's me, do I think I'm not sure.
Is it your hot water? Always turn on it. If it's just your hot water, turn on and just make sure that that's what it is. What happens is the gases look in your water tank, and you probably need to flush it every once in a while.
And that's just not to get off track, but it's been there for a while. And, I'm just wondering if it's free issue.
At my home, I'm on Chesapeake County water. I try to flush hours every well, I try to flush it a year. In which case
yeah, that's one of those things you don't think of too often.
Yeah, even seeing from the line can be a little bit there and can cause some issues. So I would recommend just flushing that out. And start with that, and if anything else comes up, you can always call us at 844.
And you're the water department supervisor?
I can't take my own there is another utility director that's over infrastructure, which is the water lines and the sewer line, and he usually takes care of that, but I can't tap it.
Yeah, I got too much time on my hands. I decided to start coming to these meetings and Mr. Robertson's kind text messages to remind me. So, I just thought, even though I live here, I just want to hear it, so I work construction all over the country.
Okay. Yeah, almost 20 years you do but not really. And see, surprisingly, a lot of people, I've met people who live here their entire life, and don't know where we are. The water plant's actually located here off the truck right there on time of all Arkansas Elementary School.
Well, I have driven back here.
And then the waste treatment plant's down by, it used to be south side of the park, it's Jack Hill and Shannon Park now, on the, down past Hills, go back down there, and we're getting back down there.
Yes, you are.
And, now then you kind of,
well, yeah, I'm good.
Once I get those signatures on all those. It's one up there. You realize it's one up here? Yeah.
New water plant, is it currently under construction, and construction, or just in the planning stages? The money is just good.
That means
My guess is it's gonna go. I just hope that my story,
Yeah, I'm from a small town in southern Ohio, and, I still keep track of what's going on up in that part of the world. They're right on the Ohio River, they've been upgrading sewer and water systems for probably the last 10 years, and it's just an ongoing situation.
The main lines for that, that's from the original installation. Yes, sir.
Replace or even line.
So you got to realize that there's lines connected.
That's one thing. That's why I would just be still lots of work, look up, like,
Sure.
We're not glad they're together, but I know everything like he did. I'm with you about that being right. Tell us every 10:30. Oh, we ain't getting a discount there. You told me that. So I don't. So I'm like, I left him alone. I did.
Sometimes it's not feasible, but if something's working, you can put Band-Aids on it after a certain amount of time, and it comes across. Yeah, it's like everybody else in that budget.
A lot of people don't realize one thing, is water pump, when we worked on this. A few years back, I could get out for $49,000, we're looking at $8,000.
Yeah.
Chemicals and all the things that are running on it. I used to say hydraulics on that, we used to get 700
As opposed to lime. Do you use lime?
That line is really nasty. We prefer sodium dioxide. And we don't use a lot of it. We get, we have 2 10,000 gallon tanks in, and we get, every 6 weeks. So, we don't use a lot of it, but it's just, line usually comes in, what's it,
My brother used to haul lime for a lot of sewer plants.
Well, we used to use lime down at the waste treatment plant to make hot sauce out of it. We use a pasteurization process to mix the lime with the solids and have maintain a pH of 12 for 24 hours. Basically, cooking and took all the pathogens out of it and used it to make it class A solids. But now it's getting so expensive. We were going to be using every 3 or 4 days. At that time, I believe it was $5,000.
Good old days. Sure. Yeah, equipment and, forced labor. Well, yeah, I need something to do too for everybody today's here. I'm getting tired of blowing leaves right currently.
Right now, the youngest person we have is one of them and then we jump up to in the 50s, and everybody, let's see, we got 3 in the 50s, and then I've got one that's just turned 67, 68, and he's actually working till 70.
They older workers, keep cattle. They'll show up on time and be there. The newer workforce, you don't see that.
So I've done my investigations and research. He said, what's my outward average? And South Carolina is $19 an hour. He said, so I would like to get $19 an hour. Sir, he's come out of the state and he absolutely nothing about it. Watch that thing for something you know nothing. And he found his job somewhere else. I mean, I don't want to discourage anybody, but let's get your education.
A little experience in all that.
You know, gentleman down at the restaurant, quite honest. And he was doing well, he was like,
Every aspect. Life, construction.
But it's been quite challenging. Almost have full staff. Just asked about the time required. So I'm hoping to get something like he works with the he said, I want to rip the plate first. He said, I want to rip the plate first. He said,
well, it's good. There's somebody local, especially. It sounds like yeah, that's for me, that's a significant drawing.
now the thing is that industries are looking at recycling, which is really good. So we've got one industry that is
Yeah, you can't avoid it, I guess, or not. Appreciate your time very much. I definitely would like to see the facilities. Again, I've been there 20 years and I'll do much work to take it.
Citizen comment.
What is it saying? Those three criminals.
My copy that I had didn't have. So was this new? I don't know if it's going to be. Oh,
They say it is.
came up with yeah. It's been because you have tested me and everything. No, because see, I'm going to go out on something. Yeah. That's I'm gonna ask one.
Okay.
I just moved, I had to shift your stuff. I did, and I'm looking at where it's supposed to be, I just moved it up. I just copied and pasted all of that.
And we want to go there when you do research and you're finding things that within we don't know the history, then it doesn't say that.
And I'm like,
No
I just go with the
problem.
flow, but I'm gonna ask.
So our clients would be those who are the exception to the average. Are you following?
Like I said, PCB statisticians are all that's why so if you approach and it's below the
What I'm saying is that within those limits, there are some people that will be affected. Okay, you're familiar with Baylor, and on the outer limits, there are on average, that amount of limits that they so-called, let's say 1,000 per 100 millimeters or whatever, then, but there are still some folks that will be affected by catching disease because they are beyond where they cannot stand the cost of being affected.
Okay, well now, on the lower limit, I can understand that, on the lower limit, like I said, it would be technical, but but on the maximum level, I don't.
It was on there, somehow I missed it, but.
Unless it's to such an extreme negative that it's just greater than the machine can do. And then it will get
Put it like this, you can stand any effort that in Texas Heat, but Texas Heat may affect me like the Cheraw. So that on average, person has tolerate Texas Heat, but then there are those people who get out. So I'm saying, even though they say it was in the limit, that doesn't say everybody's the same. Okay, fine. But as we know, research see what all three of those in combination is going to have on general public.
That's why I keep saying that.
And I was asking for some research in Kings County.
And you talk about the PhDs and all the other
key factor.
I'm thinking about it. I want to go Thanksgiving. And I said, I'm not staying up now for the first of the year. Like I did the past 3 years. So say nothing. I know you didn't say nothing about that. And I came back. I don't know why I came back. I finally put a couple of weeks looking on my door.
We barely got anything
But
out.
that's, as far as I've gone,
I mean, them trees.
and I used to go all out because my sisters were at Coons Sunday, and they'll be back the next Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, Christmas Eve.
No Sunday's Christmas Eve, yeah.
And I said, she said, why don't you come on the front? I didn't say you. I said, soon they're going to be wanting to be she said, why don't you come over? I said, don't be surprised. I'm going to sit there and do something and come on.
Really begin the 21st.
Saturday.
On the Saturday, but 3 to 8. The train was so long. I was trying to look my tickets.
Wow.
And the train was full. And barely got sense on the plane.
So we're going to figure out what right now.
Yeah, because I want to be there. Just how 2 girls are old enough. The little one is now old enough to be realized. So I'm excited to go in there. All the Christmas is already bought. I got all those here. Okay. You know, this day, I bought all those shit for Thanksgiving. I see big ones have all of it. 7.5 off. And we're going to get about $7. So what's they pay for $300. I'm going to take Jason's son his Christmas. So he'll have on his Christmas. When he was small, he was the first I said, well, we need patience. He never did it. Yeah.
I'm not even having that way.
Don't worry about that. It's easier to be probably less time than there.
Yes, 8 hours there, 8 hours, 7, 8 hours there, 16 hours up there.
And then the weather's going to be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that we told you. We're going to see the movie.
Jason going to Jason going
Jason Jackson.
Yeah, he's going
I'm not very optimistic at all about our treatment of the environment, what we've done already. I'm not optimistic at all. We were, and it's the rain.
Yes.
Last time, do you drink the wolf?
Yes, sir.
You do.
When I first, I'm from that province.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I lived very short life. And we Because I was drinking either red water or lake water from Haiti, which is completely different from surface. Because you didn't know. And I was like, oh, this is awful. Now,
They told it in biblical,
it's just so
not
bad.
times, but it used,
I love the taste before I found out and all of this other stuff.
Okay, but now, here's your advice. You drink bottled water?
Yes.
Okay, you get bottled water, it's like glasses.
Okay, all of that too. You messed up.
We can't get that in. Something that's always
Right. I'm not optimistic at all. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
We'll show you that. South Carolina Water Association had an
When I directed, it was good. The best.
Yes.
You find out in the property head meeting.
What's this?
So you probably find out in the property head meeting.
About what? Yeah. What's that?
Y'all know this?
King, I was permission to go into the people. I said, I don't know. I asked me to be there. I said, ask Rob. I showed up there. I looked, and he left the bus stand.
Just gonna be
Started from there. I wish they had told us so we could address it sooner. We'll take care of that. We should have people about it. They had told us started it. Found out now it's like, you should be one for it. Now it's not probably time.
I got some give her envelopes or some labels out here.
We were figuring it out, it's probably gonna cost $2,000.
So that's what we're looking at. We'll go over something. My son said it, and then he said the water line. So it affects what? And I'm thinking that's
What's your please with it?
that's what I'm saying. But I still want to understand. I went back to 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
What your revenue is. Didn't say something about it. But that's 21. This is 20. Look at the red one for 20.
Andy, you come to the house and you need a secretary.
Did you get it down?
Do I have a motion, we go back into regular session? Second.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimous. I'd like to, report that while in executive session, we did discuss, let's see. We discussed appointments and compensation in the police department. We did not take any legal action while in executive session. So I want to make sure that we have that on record. No official business was acted in executive session. Hearing that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
If you would sign